it was hard sitting on the bench. I'm not going to lie. There were certainly some hard days, but, I think it taught myself how to be a really good leader and how to be a really good teammate and how to empathize for your teammates in certain situations. When you're in the heat of battle, your emotions are high and, you feel things differently. And I think when you're on the sidelines and you don't have your jersey on, you can observe and really watch people and learn about people.
After 3 months of silence, CaitlinClark has finally spoken up, and she didn't hold anything back. In her first interview since suffering the tough injury that ended her season, Caitlin shared what really happened that day, how hard it was to sit out, and the emotional ups and downs of her recovery. She talked about pushing through pain in private, staying focused while fans guessed about her condition, and how difficult the whole journey has been. Now, she's finally telling her side of the story, and what she reveals will surprise you. Let's all wish Caitlin a fast and full recovery in the comments below.
Caitlin, what's the status of your health right now, and what specifically injury-wise between the ankle and the groin was it that prevented you from coming back this year?
Yeah, honestly, I've been working really hard to get back to full health, and I feel like probably over these last couple of weeks is when I've probably started feeling my best. Obviously, my ankle kind of didn't allow me to really see where my groin was at. It was, I think, my second full court workout back when we were in, I don't even know what month that would have been, but I just went to kind of make a move, and unfortunately my ankle completely rolled all the way forward, and probably one of the worst sprains I've dealt with.
Caitlin's season was never meant to end this way. She had been pushing through a groin injury, determined to make a strong comeback, when everything suddenly changed. During a normal workout, her ankle gave out, causing one of the worst sprains she's ever experienced. Just like that, her plans fell apart. What made it even harder was that she never got a real ending, no final game, no proper goodbye. Every day, she showed up hoping to return, only to face more setbacks. The mental strain of that is something most fans never truly see. It's exhausting on every level.
I've just tried to stay positive the best I can, and but I honestly feel like I'm in a really good spot, and, people don't always realize, people that, are kind of in the basketball world, or whether if you're in other sports too, when you're injured, it's honestly more work than when you're playing. So, I've spent so much time here in this building this season just trying to get healthy and trying to kind of just get back to 100%. And honestly, I think that, if I never was, I obviously played that game in Connecticut, and that's where I kind of felt some more pain in my right groin, and then obviously had some tests and other things done, and there was no decision of this is the end of my season. I had full intention of returning, and I think in a way that was probably positive for me, because that's how I approached every single day.
But even through all the pain, Caitlin never gave up. She stayed focused and kept her hope alive. She explained that being injured can actually be harder than playing, the endless hours in the gym, the loneliness, and the constant questions from everyone around you. It's a different kind of fight, one that tests your strength in every way. Still, Caitlin pushed through each day without any guarantees or attention, just pure hard work. That's the side of her journey most people never see until now.
I came in here I was going to play, I was going to get back out on the court, and it probably would have been even more devastating and crushing knowing that I was never going to be able to put my uniform back on for the rest of the season. But you just approach it every single day, you attack and get better, and it'll be the same for me going forward. That work doesn't stop, and I think I've had really good perspective on it all, and that's probably what I'm most proud of too.
There's a big difference between looking healthy and actually being ready to play, and Caitlin explains that better than anyone. She says that doing light workouts, like shooting jumpers or jogging through drills, doesn't come close to the intensity of a real game. In live action, you don't think about how you move or where you step, you just play. But after an injury, that natural movement becomes the hardest part. You have to learn to trust your body again, and that only happens through real 5-on-5 play and taking hits on the court.
I think that's probably where people struggle to understand at times, is there is a huge difference than me standing there and shooting spot shots and running up and down. But in a basketball game, like, I'm not thinking like, oh, I'm planting here, oh, I'm cutting, oh, I'm doing this, oh, I'm doing that. Like, you're just doing it. So your muscles need to be able to react and withstand that type of stuff. So that's where the 5-on-5 becomes really critical. And then obviously the contact piece of it too. Like, you don't know where you're going to be taking contact from, but my goal, it was the end of October to kind of be out there and trying to get back to playing 5-on-5. And
that's why Caitlin's return to full speed action isn't just about following a timeline, it's about rebuilding trust in her body. She's aiming to be back in full competitive form by late October, but even then, recovery isn't only physical. It's also about gaining confidence with every move, every cut, every sprint, every bit of contact on the court. Caitlin knows the road to recovery won't be a straight path, but she's focused and determined. She's coming back smarter, stronger, and more prepared than ever before.
I've been grinding as hard as I possibly can, and that's how it's always kind of just been for me. Like, I love the work. I love putting in the work, and that it's been difficult not being able to like see the time you put in, being able to put on your jersey and see it pay off. But I think, like I said, I think it's been a really good opportunity for me to learn a lot about myself and, certain lessons that will probably be really important throughout my career as well.
For someone as competitive as CaitlinClark, sitting on the sidelines was pure torture. But it also turned into one of the most valuable learning experiences of her career. Without the ability to impact the game physically, she had to slow down and see things from a different perspective. Caitlin learned how to lead with her voice instead of just her performance, how to listen more, and how to support her teammates even when she couldn't be out there playing with them.
The huddle and almost take on the role of another set of coaching eyes with this group this season.
I mean, it's not what I envisioned by any means. But, I've talked with a few people about this. I think, when I get a few years down here in my career, like, I think this is a moment in a season I'll look back on and be like, this is why I am who I am today. And that's obviously probably pretty challenging to think in that way right now, but I truly believe that. And, it was hard sitting on the bench, I'm not going to lie.
Caitlin admits the journey wasn't easy. There were tough days, moments of frustration, and times when she just wanted to be back on the court fighting alongside her team. But during that time away, she discovered something deeper: empathy. She started to truly understand what her teammates go through, not only physically but emotionally as well. And that kind of understanding, she says, is what truly makes a great leader.
And, I don't think it was so much for me like the basketball. I mean, like, obviously you learn about basketball. That's always how I've learned. I've been a basketball junkie. Like, you watch games, you watch the NBA, you watch college, you just have basketball on. That's the best way to improve your IQ. But also to learn about people and ask them questions and watch the way they operate. And for myself, getting to do that with my teammates, I think, is probably the biggest lesson I learned. And just, how can I show up every single day and, pour into them?
This time away from the court may not have given Caitlin any highlights or headlines, but it gave her something far more valuable: perspective. It reminded her what it truly means to be a great teammate, to show up for others even when no one's watching, and to understand that real leadership goes far beyond numbers or stats. When she returns, that emotional growth and awareness will make her an even more dangerous and complete player.
Going forward down the road, like, if I have a teammate that's injured or hurt or going through a tough moment, like, I know I will always show up for them and be there for them and check in on them, because it is an incredibly isolating thing, and you don't realize that until you go through it. And, everybody says it, like, but you don't feel it unless you go through it. So I think all of that is probably what I learned most.
Throughout her rehab, one constant source of support for Caitlin was Aaliyah Boston. Caitlin lit up when she talked about her not just as a teammate, but as a true friend who showed up every day with encouragement, understanding, and strong leadership. Aaliyah was the steady presence that kept the team grounded, and Caitlin made it clear how much that meant to her during the toughest parts of recovery. The bond between a point guard and a post player goes far beyond plays and strategy. It's built on trust, communication, and genuine care for one another.
I mean, I think it's obviously AB's tremendous. Like, we've always had a great relationship, and that's what exactly you need between your post and your point guard. And she's always been somebody that's been there to check in and pick me up. But I think that goes for our entire team, and I think that speaks for our entire season. I don't think it would be, I don't think we would have had the type of success that we had if it wasn't for the friendship or the empathy people showed one another or the next man up mentality, like that was shown across the board in our locker room.
But Aaliyah wasn't the only one who supported her. Caitlin gave credit to the entire locker room for coming together with a strong next woman up mindset. No matter who got injured or who had to step in, the team's culture stayed the same, always show up for each other. That unity is what kept the Fever competitive all season, even as the injuries added up. For Caitlin, that kind of teamwork wasn't just comforting, it was truly inspiring.
It was, for myself or whether it was for somebody that came in mid-season and got hurt, like it was always the same. Like you always care for your teammates in the same manner. So, obviously AB was tremendous in that role, and I think she had an incredible year, but honestly our entire roster really excelled in that area.
Sitting on the bench gave Caitlin a front row seat to see how her teammates handled pressure, challenges, and supported one another. She got to observe the team's dynamics up close, who lifts others up, who responds to what kind of motivation, and how everyone contributes in their own way. These small moments taught her valuable lessons about leadership that playing alone never could. She wasn't just watching the game, she was studying people.
With respect to your recovery, looking down the line, have you explored opportunities maybe to play 5-on-5 during the offseason as part of kind of that ramp up so that you're ready for next season and have played actual basketball before things start up again in the summer?
Yeah, I think you always explore every opportunity, and I haven't made any decisions, and I don't know, what that's necessarily going to look like for me. Like I said, there's some USA basketball stuff that is probably my top priority right now that I need to prepare for, and I think that will help me prepare for next season too. But obviously, then you have to prepare for USA basketball in some manner. So that, there's just a lot of different things you got to figure out and balance, and, I'll work through a lot of that too.
This experience made Caitlin think deeply about the kind of leader she wants to be moving forward, not just the fiery competitor everyone sees on the court, but also someone who listens, supports, and adapts. The emotional growth she gained during this time will stay with her for the rest of her career. She's already thinking about how she can use what she's learned to help the next teammate who ends up on the sidelines, because now she truly understands what that feels like.
Steph mentioned that it was kind of baby steps and getting back and making sure you don't lose what you've worked on this season. Just what are your plans for the off season and possibly playing or just doing individual workouts?
Yeah, probably take a little bit of a break here, just for maybe a week. I don't really want to lose a ton of the stuff I've worked on, and just trying to get my body back to full health. There's some USA basketball stuff I need to get ready for.
Caitlin isn't wasting any time this off-season. She plans to take a short break, but it's far from a vacation. Her main focus is getting her body back to full strength, not just healed, but fully ready to handle the demands of a long WNBA season. She knows that staying away from the court too long could set her back, so she's carefully balancing rest and preparation, making sure she's ready when it's time to return.
Some runs and some ways to play 5-on-5 just so I can kind of get that feel back. And but more than anything, I think my main focus is really just getting my body healthy. And once we get back to 5-on-5, like just being able to test my body and make sure I know it's in a good spot where it's going to be able to hold up with everything that, we think we've corrected or we think we've worked on, to be able to know I'm in a really good spot there. And, when you go through injuries, especially in my scenario where it's been a few of the reoccurring kind of bouncing around, which isn't necessarily uncommon in my situation just because of compensation.
One big milestone is coming up for Caitlin, getting back to full 5-on-5 basketball. It's the final and most important step in her recovery, and she's fully focused on it. She explained how crucial it is to test her body in real game situations, to see how it reacts, how strong it feels, and whether all the rehab work truly holds up under pressure. For Caitlin, it's all about confidence, not just knowing she's healthy, but truly feeling it in every move, every cut, and every bit of contact on the court.
And, when you're dealing with things in that groin area, that just is kind of how it can go sometimes. I think it's important that you can become confident in your body again, and that's for anybody that goes through injury. So that's probably going to be my main focus is, just feeling 100% again, and then obviously, having that confidence in my body too.
And if that wasn't enough, Caitlin is also getting ready for her USA basketball commitments. That means turning up the intensity, finding top-level competition, and making sure she's peaking at just the right time. It's a busy off-season, but for Caitlin, this isn't just about coming back, it's about leveling up. After 3 months of silence, CaitlinClark didn't just return to the microphone, she made a statement. Honest, determined, and more focused than ever, she showed that she's not only healing physically but growing mentally and emotionally. From the grind of rehab to the lessons learned while leading from the sidelines, her journey has taken a powerful turn, one that could shape the next chapter of her career. And if this interview proves anything, it's that CaitlinClark is far from finished. The fire is still there, maybe burning hotter than ever. Let's all wish her a fast and full recovery in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss a moment. Click the video on your screen, and we'll see you in the next one.